Just wanted to give y'all an update on my hair because I know the last time I did a video about it, I hadn't got locked yet. So, I'm locked. I'm in the middle of a wash. Oh my goodness, it's not working out too well, is it? The last time y'all saw me, I was saying I was gonna get my hair locked, and then you didn't hear from me again after like a consultation and all of the extra whatnot. So yeah, I did get it locked, and I have been locked for I think 3 months now. I'm going on 4 months in the middle of January. But here's the thing, I did not get Sisterlocks, or at least I don't feel like I can call them Sisterlocks, because I didn't go to a sister loctician. So where did they come from? I kind of tried to combine a lot of the techniques that I had seen on YouTube. Bad idea, I know, because some things will absolutely rip your hair out, which is a video for another time. But essentially, I had my mom 2-strand twist my hair, and I had her do really, really small 2-strand twists. So I spent a lot of time the hardest part was getting the hair to stay together after the 2-strand twists had been put in there. Because they were so small, it was easier, I guess, for them to come apart and not stay twisted. I didn't use any like gels or spritz or any of that locking up my hair. I just continued twisting it or retwisting whatever came out. And that took, it took her a week to put all of the small twists in. And part of the reason it took her so long is because I had her, the only time she had to do it was when I was on break from work. Because I'm a bus driver, I'm on break from work during like the early morning, middle of the day. So this one actually, I'm gonna have to split it some kind of way. I don't know. That's gonna be like a double one. But yeah, so I had her tying it in the morning after I got off work, in between my morning route and my afternoon route. So she only had like 2 or 3 hours at a time to twist it. So it took her about a week, I'm gonna say 5 days, to do it. And then after that, the hardest part, like I said, was getting the twists to stay in long enough for them to become what you see right now. So because of my hair texture, most of the twists were kind of still connected to each other majority of the time, because my hair curls up, and then when it's dry it just shrinks and kind of compacts. So most of the twists stay, so I didn't really have to retwist that many or retwist them. So what happened was, like, week and a half in, I interlock them. I would not recommend any of this to anyone. Specifically, I'm just saying that this is what I did. So during that week and a half, I went to Joann's Fabric. Was it Joann's Fabric? No, it was Michael's. I went to Michael's, and they had some of these like crochet hooks, and they had this latch hook, and they had these, which I think are called yarn needles. It didn't come like this. I had to stretch it, and I got that from K&K TV on YouTube. If you want to check it out, she has a video on how she makes her own interlocking tool or lock tool. So I got that from her, but I think these are called yarn needles. And so I was trying to figure out what I wanted to use to interlock my hair, because with Sisterlocks, they interlock them with like a 4 pattern or a 3 pattern. Like, I don't know what the pattern is specifically, but they use that to interlock the hair. And so I didn't think that I should wait a full month or 6 weeks or however long people that usually do 2-strand twists or the traditional lock method wait. One, I can't tolerate not washing my hair every 2 weeks. The longest I could go is like 3 weeks, and that's with like grease and like spray or something. Like, I can't do it. My scalp drives me nuts. So waiting 4 to 6 weeks without putting anything in my hair really wasn't gonna work for me. So like a week and a half in, I started interlocking the small 2-strand twists, and I tried it with this first, which didn't work out too well because, well, I couldn't really see where the hook was, and the lock wouldn't like stay underneath it really at the time. I guess because the hair wasn't fully locked, so it would kind of just go through it, and then it would end up tangled or in a mess. So that didn't work out. Then, because the hair wasn't like all the way together enough, threading the locks or the strands through this was difficult. So this didn't work initially either. So we ended up doing the latch hook, using the latch hook. And a lot of people say, or that I have seen, a lot of people don't recommend this because it snags the hair and it pulls it, and you can end up locking, 2 locks together that you didn't initially plan to combine. And all of that is true. All of that is true. But it's what I did because I wanted them to be locked. So my mom went through each one, and I showed her a video of you go, kind of like a T or a cross. You go from left to right, up to down, right to left, and then bottom to top, pulling the hair through each time. So I had her do that, and it created like a small, kind of like this, if you can see it at the very end, it created that. And so the 2-strand twists weren't locked yet, but they did have, at that point, when she finished, which took another like 3 days or so, once she finished, it was, I guess some tension there to prevent them from completely coming apart. So after that, I waited, I guess like 4 weeks or so. I want you to keep in mind, during this time, I was also washing my hair like every 2 weeks, which is, with Sisterlocks, you can do that. They tell you to wash your hair. You can wash it like you normally would. They just don't recommend that you condition your hair. And the first month, I did all of the stuff that I wasn't supposed to do. I used the crochet hook. I washed my hair every 2 weeks. And I also put conditioner in there. And I think that all of that probably has something to do with why my locks are the way that they are right now. So I'll explain that later. But yeah, so I did that. And then I decided that I wanted to be able to interlock my hair or retie my hair myself without having to rely on my mom to do it. In a way, it was what I've done is kind of a mix between traditional and the sister lock method. Like, I don't know the pattern and all of that extra whatnot of what the sister locticians do, but as far as the process and washing the hair or not washing the hair, I kind of mixed all of that together and I ended up with these. They are not all fully locked. You can see where they have started budding, where some of them have started budding, like at the very end. This one has a little bud on the end, and some of them, you know that they've started because they have these little bulbs at the end, and you are encouraged not to pull those off. And I don't purposefully pull them off, but you kind of end up pulling them off anyway. You can see where some of them are they still have like the curl at the end. So my locks are pretty much just doing whatever they want, and they're all, from what I can see, in different stages or going through a different process. None of my locks are uniform. Like, they are not all the same size. Some of them are like small and slender, like this one, and then I don't know if y'all can see it, but there's this one in the back that's like bigger than all my other locks. It's this one right here. I hope y'all can see that. So it's much bigger, and then if you go through my hair, some of my locks have already been combined, like this one right here is combined. You can see where this, like, it splits like that, and then like this one right here is really slender compared to, so they're not uniform, which doesn't bother me. Like, I'm okay with that as long as my hair continues to grow and I don't end up with any bald spots and my hair stays locked and I can continue to move freely the way I have been. Then I'm good to go. Like, I don't care if they're all the same. There were a few that I did combine already, and that's just because I accidentally combined them. Some of them were accident. Like this one, I did that on purpose because I felt like this lock was just too small. And this lock actually is a really good example of how much hair there is on my head in these locks. Like, this is, let's go with 5 or 6 inches, I guess, at the most, of hair. I don't really think it's more than that, so I'm gonna guess 5 or 6 inches, but the locks themselves are not this long. You can see the difference. I've lost like 2 inches. So they're not all locked up, but the hair is all in there. Yeah, so that lock is just a really good example of that, because you can see the little knot on the end, and you can see another little knot right here. So you know it's not coming apart, and if I pull on this little knot right here, it will come out. And then you get up here and you can see where it's separate, and then it starts to combine. So what I do with locks that have this issue is I take the little fuzz around them and I just wrap it around the lock like that. At the end of the day, I'm happy with what I have, and in the next video I'll give you some discomforts, I guess, that I'm dealing with at the top right now, and I'll discuss how I interlock my hair, because obviously this is now a no-go. So yeah, there's 2 videos coming, and thanks for watching.